Have you ever found yourself lying in bed, night after night, staring into the dark, wondering why sleep no longer comes the way it used to? You try deep breathing. You fluff the pillow. Maybe you even stop drinking tea after 4 p.m. But still your mind won't slow down. Your body stays restless. And morning always comes too early. For many older adults, especially women, sleep becomes a nightly struggle. But here's the thing no one really tells you. The solution isn't always in a pill bottle. Sometimes it begins with the way we prepare our bodies and our minds. That's the journey we'll walk through together today. How a mindful approach rooted in yoga and meditation can gently guide us back to rest, even when sleep feels far away. We'll explore not just techniques but reasons. We'll look at the risks of poor sleep, the real science behind relaxation, and how everyday women just like you are finding deep, healing rest again, without medication, without struggle, and without feeling helpless. Let's start where real change often begins: the space around us. The first shift happens in our environment, not just what we do but what we allow. In the practice of yoga, there's a principle called pratyahara. It means withdrawing the senses. Simply put, it's about gently closing the doors to the outside world so our nervous system can rest. That starts in the bedroom. And it's not about fancy equipment or expensive blackout curtains. It's about making your room feel like an invitation to sleep. Darkness, yes, but also stillness. A cooler temperature, ideally somewhere between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit. No blinking lights from clocks. No humming from electronic chargers. And if possible, no screens at all. Now you might be thinking, but I only watch a little TV to fall asleep. Or my tablet helps me relax. And that's completely understandable. But here's the catch. Even low light from screens interferes with melatonin, the hormone that tells your brain it's time to rest. As we age, our natural melatonin levels decline. That's why protecting every bit of it matters. There's a woman named Rita, in her early 70s, who used to fall asleep to old sitcoms playing softly from her tablet. But she'd wake up every few hours and couldn't get back to sleep. Her doctor mentioned blue light exposure, and out of curiosity, she decided to try 1 week without screens after 8 p.m. By the third night, she slept 6 uninterrupted hours, something she hadn't experienced in years. For her, it wasn't magic. It was simply removing one layer of stimulation her brain didn't need. So what's the solution? Start small. Try creating a quiet, screen-free zone for at least an hour before bedtime. Turn off your router. Cover any glowing buttons or lights. Use soft, dim lamps instead of overhead lights. These gentle changes may not feel dramatic at first, but they send a clear message to your body. You are safe now. You can let go. The second shift is in how we spend our evenings, not just physically but energetically. In yogic philosophy, there's a concept called brahmacharya. Traditionally, it's about conserving energy. In modern life, it means noticing where your energy leaks at night and redirecting it toward peace. Think about this. How often do we scroll through emails, catch up on news, or even respond to text messages? All in the final hour before bed. These habits activate the brain. They raise cortisol, the stress hormone. And even if your body is tired, your mind stays alert, scanning for problems to solve. Now here's a quiet truth. After age 60, our bodies are slower to recover from these daily stress patterns. What used to feel like a small irritation, a bit of news, a sharp email, can now ripple into our sleep cycle. That's not a flaw. It's just the way the nervous system ages. We become more sensitive, more porous. So instead of asking ourselves, what's relaxing? Maybe the better question is, what helps me feel safe? There's a gentleman in his late 60s, a widower, who began switching off his phone at 7:30 each evening. He'd light a small candle, make a cup of herbal tea, and sit quietly with his dog for 20 minutes before bed. No music, no stimulation, just presence. After years of broken sleep, he began sleeping through the night again. The shift wasn't in his mattress or supplements. It was in his nervous system finally being allowed to wind down. You don't need to meditate for hours. Just notice what stirs your thoughts and what calms them. Trade stimulation for stillness. If you enjoy reading, choose calming material. If you knit or draw, let those quiet hobbies become part of your wind-down routine. And if silence feels too empty at first, Soft instrumental music or nature sounds can gently guide you there. Now let's talk about food. Not just what we eat, but when and how it supports or disrupts our rest. In yogic tradition, there's an idea called saucha, cleanliness, purity, both in body and environment. And this includes what we put into our system. Caffeine, sugar, processed foods. All of these are harder to process as we age. Our liver, digestion, and metabolism slow down. A heavy or late meal can keep us tossing and turning well past midnight. But even more than that, certain foods can block the production of serotonin, which our brain converts into melatonin. Here's a real example. Denise, age 66, had a habit of snacking on cookies and hot cocoa before bed. She believed it helped her relax. But after working with a health coach, she learned that the sugar was spiking her blood sugar, then crashing it, causing her to wake at 2 or 3 a.m. When she switched to a lighter dinner, some vegetables and a bit of protein, and skipped the sweet treats, her sleep deepened significantly. Her body was no longer being woken up by its own chemistry. If you're wondering what to eat, think simple. Light dinners, less sugar, herbal teas like chamomile, passion flower, or lemon balm, and finish eating at least 2 hours before bed to give your body time to digest and settle. The final piece for today is movement. Not intense workouts, but mindful motion that calms the body and prepares it for rest. Many people assume yoga means twisting into difficult poses. But at its heart, yoga is about connection between breath, body, and stillness. Gentle movements and breathing can lower cortisol, reduce inflammation, and help us shift out of fight or flight mode. One of the most powerful poses for sleep is called legs up the wall. Simply lying on your back with your legs resting vertically against a wall for 5 to 10 minutes can calm your entire nervous system. It encourages blood flow back toward the heart, signals safety to the brain, and helps drain tension from tired legs and feet. Another is reclined cobbler's pose. Lying back with the soles of your feet together, knees gently open, supported by pillows. This position helps release the hips and relax the lower back, areas where many older adults carry tension from sitting or standing throughout the day. And then there's the bridge pose, which gently strengthens the back while also calming the heart rate. Followed by child's pose and savasana, the final resting pose, where all the effort dissolves into stillness. These aren't just exercises. They're signals to your brain. It's okay to rest now. We'll continue this journey in the next part, where we'll explore how meditation and breathwork can retrain your body to fall and stay asleep, even when stress or loneliness try to keep you awake. But before we move on, just take a moment. Notice what part of this conversation stirred something in you. Was it the light in your room? The way you spend your evenings? A memory of your last restless night? You're not alone in this. And there are real gentle ways to find your way back to rest. So we've talked about the environment around you, how light, temperature, and screen time affect your body's ability to relax. We've looked at how your evening energy, your eating habits, and gentle yoga movements can prepare your body for real rest. But what happens when the body is ready and the mind is not? For so many older adults, it's not the body that keeps them awake. It's the thoughts, the racing mind, the memories that visit uninvited at midnight, the worries that whisper louder when the house is quiet. That's where the practice of meditation begins to matter, not as a discipline, but as a gentle return to the present moment. Meditation doesn't mean emptying your mind. It means noticing the noise and choosing not to follow it. In aging, that's one of the most valuable skills we can develop, the ability to sit with our thoughts without being swept away by them. There was a woman named Joyce in her early 70s who often described her nights as battles with memory. She had lost her husband a few years prior and lived alone. Every night around 2 a.m., she would wake and feel overwhelmed with thoughts, regrets, worries about the future, old memories resurfacing. She tried everything, pills, audiobooks, even rearranging her bedroom. Nothing worked for long. Then a counselor introduced her to a basic breath meditation. Just 5 minutes a night. Breathe in gently for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Breathe out for 4. Rest for 4. The technique is sometimes called box breathing. First it felt silly, but within a week something shifted. Not that the memories disappeared, but they softened. They no longer pulled her under. She started falling back asleep more easily, even after those 2 a.m. awakenings. What meditation really offers is not silence but space. And in that space, your nervous system finds room to settle. The racing heart slows. The clenched jaw softens. The grip of anxiety loosens just a little. If you're just beginning, start with breath. You don't need apps or music or techniques. Just sit at the edge of your bed, close your eyes and breathe. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Let your shoulders drop. Let the day go. That's meditation. And even 2 or 3 minutes before lying down can make a world of difference. And if you wake during the night, which many people do, you can use the same breath. Instead of turning to your phone or looking at the clock, come back to that rhythm. Inhale, hold, exhale, rest. Let your breath become your anchor in the dark. Now, it's important to talk about something many don't mention when giving sleep advice. And that's the emotional weight of sleep loss. Chronic insomnia isn't just tiring, it's isolating. When you wake up exhausted day after day, it's easy to start believing something is wrong with you. You feel distant, foggy, even embarrassed. You might avoid social plans or become irritable with loved ones. Over time, sleep loss can even lead to depression or worsen existing health conditions. This is why restoring sleep isn't just about rest. It's about reclaiming joy, reclaiming clarity. It's about having enough energy to call your sister, walk to the store, smile at a stranger. It's about remembering how to feel alive again. Not just surviving the day, but feeling part of it. A woman named Carol in her late 60s used to joke that she didn't need sleep, just strong coffee. But privately, she was struggling. She found herself crying for no reason. She forgot appointments. Her joints ached more. She'd wake up and already feel overwhelmed. After finally speaking with her doctor and trying a mix of movement, meditation, and sleep tracking, her energy began returning. Her mood lifted, and she said something so simple but so true. It's not just that I'm sleeping better. I feel like myself again. That's the deeper promise here. Not perfect sleep, but better sleep. And with that, a return to yourself. Now there's one more piece I want to share. It's not from yoga or science. It's from something more universal. And that's rhythm. Our bodies, like nature, thrive on rhythm. The sun rises and sets. The tides come and go. Birds migrate with the seasons. And we too need a rhythm to feel safe. One of the most powerful and overlooked sleep tools is having a consistent bedtime routine. Not just going to bed at the same hour, but following the same pattern each night. Think of it like a lullaby for your nervous system. You might begin by dimming the lights, putting on your favorite robe, making a cup of herbal tea, doing a few gentle stretches, turning on soft music or lighting a candle, then lying down, placing your hands on your belly, and feeling the breath move in and out. When this sequence becomes familiar, your brain starts recognizing it as a signal. Sleep is coming. And that predictability brings safety. For someone living alone, that rhythm becomes even more important. It creates continuity, a sense of structure, a reminder that even if the world feels chaotic, there is still something you can count on each night. If you've ever watched a baby fall asleep, you know they don't just drop into slumber. They're swaddled, rocked, sung to. And in many ways, our older selves need a version of that same care. Not from others, but from ourselves. A kind, gentle rhythm that says, "You're okay. You've done enough today. You can rest now." So let's take a breath together right now. Inhale slowly and let it go. And if tonight when you lie down your thoughts begin to stir, or your body doesn't feel quite ready, remember this. You have tools now. You have rhythm. You have breath. You have the quiet strength of every small habit you've built. Sleep isn't something we force, something we invite. And the more we learn to listen to our bodies, our thoughts, our environment, the more that invitation feels welcome. Before we end today, I want to leave you with one gentle question. What's one small change you can make tonight? Just one, that honors your need for rest? Maybe it's turning off the TV earlier. Maybe it's dimming the lights. Maybe it's trying that breathing pattern. Whatever it is, make it yours. And let it be enough. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this video spoke to you, I'd love to know. In the comments, share your experience with sleep. What helps you relax at night? Have you tried yoga or meditation before? Your story might be the very thing someone else needs to hear. And if you found this video helpful, please like it, Share it with a friend, and subscribe for more gentle, supportive guidance designed especially for this chapter of life. Because rest isn't a luxury, it's a form of healing, and you deserve every bit of it.